Hi everybody, this is Brian here. I wanted to talk about music today. It's been a while since I've made a video on this channel, almost 2 months. A lot's obviously happened since then, and I hope everybody's doing well and stay safe. Um, but today I wanted to talk about something music related, and I wanted to talk about how to turn music from something that's more like a background element in your life into something that can actually take you on a journey. I think a lot of people use music as just something that's playing on the radio while they're commuting to work, kind of comparable to like a windowsill plant instead of a garden. But I think that if you actually use classic rock, psychedelic rock especially, and old jazz, things like stride piano, these are obviously just opinions and my favorite types of music. But I think that if you actually commit to the song, if you sit there, if you close your eyes, and if you listen to it, and if you actually think of how you can relate to the song and how you can actually take yourself to a place that's where the lyrics are or where the melody is, and feel the miracle of the lyrics. You know, there's always that uh, I guess you'd say cliche term lyrical miracle. That isn't that like a wasn't there a guy in ECW like that? I think that was Joel Gertner. Um, Never mind though. That's a completely different topic, obviously. But I just wanted to talk about how, um, like when I was 14, I realized, you know, you don't have to get hooked on things that are harsh in order to actually get that feeling. If you listen to something like Jimi Hendrix or Pink Floyd, if you listen to something like Fats Waller or Sister Rosetta Tharpe, something that has the genuine emotion to actually take you on an emotional psychedelic like journey, you can actually feel the song, you can actually feel the melody of a song such as Voodoo Child Slight Return, or something such as I guess uh, that Pink Floyd song where they're echoes live from Pompeii. That's what I'm thinking of. Sorry if there's a lot of songs floating around in my head because I just made a massive playlist a little bit ago, and so I'm got all those songs kind of like bats flying around a cave in my head, and I'm just trying to think of the titles. I've got all of the musician names remembered, but it's pretty much kind of trying to think up the actual song titles and not get them confused with a B side and actually tell you the wrong song, and tell you to go listen to Spanish Castle Magic instead of Machine Gun, or some other song by Jimi Hendrix that is comparable, you know? But I think that if you actually listen to these songs and commit to them, sit down in bed, don't just use it as a background activity. Music, I think that if we people today actually committed more to the songs and used music as an activity the way that we do movies, for example, you don't just have a Robert De Niro film playing in the background and you're just not even watching it. You're eating pancakes, or like doing your homework or something. It's just some random activity. That would be completely moronic. I think that the way that we treat music today, and we just have it playing, in the background while we're stuck in traffic, I think that we basically do that in life too. People do not often have historical knowledge of music. They don't focus beyond things like Taylor Swift and Kanye Zest or whatever his name is. I think that that if we actually look back on the people who started all of this, the proprietors, and the people who actually were the forerunners of the things that we listen to today, for better or worse. You know, I think that if you go back and you listen to things like early stride piano, and you sit there and you listen to an artist such as Art Tatum, and you listen to an artist such as Ella Fitzgerald with her virtuoso voice, um, I think that you can feel these things if you just kind of sit back and you kind of just let the music filter in and you feel it, you know, then you'll come to the same conclusion that I did when I was a kid and I was trying to realize, hey, what can I do to get this enjoyment but without having to go to those lengths? And I realized that music is the cheap key in a sense, but also it gives you Uh, it makes it so you don't have to go that far in order to actually feel that journey for it to take you places. You know, all that you really have to do is move music out of the windowsill of your life, so it's not just a dying marigold, and it's actually sorry, it's actually something in your garden that's growing uh, to a really full plant, something that something that your children can see years from now. And I think that music is something that we today in America have taken um, kind of just as a little bit of something that sells ad space. You know, it's kind of sad, and I think that we should commit more time to music. You know, the way that I realized this, just so you don't come up, so you don't realize. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of epilepsy symptoms, some jaw myoclonus here. But what all I was trying to say is that I came to realize this while I realized that I was listening to music while having my TV on mute, and I was basically just having it as a background activity, kind of adjacent to like what you would use the radio for in the car. And after many years of commuting long hours to school with my dad and just having like 98.5 KFOX or some radio station. And I'm not downplaying the radio or trying to minimize it at all. I'm just saying that radio should not be the entirety, the sum of music in your life. Don't let music become a dying flower in your windowsill. Sit down and actually listen to the song. Feel what they're saying, especially in genres like country with artists such as John Prine or Towns Van Zandt, people where the lyrics, and not just in country but in rap too. I was listening to that Biggie Smalls song, which I'm sorry I can not remember the title to, but it's like where he was saying it's all a dream. I used to read a Word Up magazine, and it's just things like seeing the world in my rear view by Tupac. There's a lot of songs where if you actually sit there and commit to the journey that is the lyrics or is the melody or even the guitar solo, I think that that song can take you to a place further mentally and emotionally. I used to listen to the guitar solo from Comfortably Numb performed live by Pink Floyd, and it was truly one of the most beautiful, emotionally speaking, experiences that I've ever had in my entire life. And on Mother's Day here, uh, during a big, absence from my YouTube channel because of everything that's been going on lately. I just wanted to tell you that music can do more for you than just basically be playing in the background while you're driving to work. It's not just that cold cup of coffee. Um, you can actually now, I didn't really want to say this term, but you can actually have that psychedelic journey without having to basically go that far to those things that are questionable legality. But when I was 14 and I was going into high school, I realized that music could kind of be that favorable shortcut that doesn't take you to those consequences. Consequences, kind of like taking Rolaids instead of taking something that gives you ulcers. I just wanted you to know that if you sit here, if you actually um, listen to the actual subtleties, the actual idiosyncrasies of these songs, whether they're instrumental or not, I think that the best genres lyrically are probably rap and country, Tupac, Biggie Smalls, and some of those other people I mentioned. But there's also really, really fantastic instrumental genres that can kind of make you feel like a hummingbird fluttering through the sky, and I think that music can take you on these genres and it can give you a way to go there and to go to these places with arms wide open. Like that really corny Creed song. It can give you a way to go there, a shortcut to go there without having to necessarily kind of, you know, bear those welts. Anyways, thank you for watching. I love you guys all because you're you. And I'm going to try to be more active on my channel lately. Make videos more often than every 2 months. Um, but I just wanted to let you know that there is a way to get those feelings, to feel those emotional levels of highs without having to go, um, without having to kind of go out into the woods without a sweater or shoes, so to speak, and end up with foxtails in your feet and a shirt full of rain and things comparable to that, but in terms of legality. Anyways, but I just wanted to let you know, I was thinking of making several other videos before this, you know, like a top five Pink Floyd songs or Jimi Hendrix songs or reviewing a wrestling pay-per-view. But this is far more important to me. This is something that I think is probably emotionally, morally, this is one of the most important things in all of life to me. And that's that I think that music is an underutilized therapeutic element of our society, you know, being dependent on social stability for our own emotional stability is one of the probably worst things that we can do for ourselves in the sense that it makes our happiness kind of ephemeral. You know, it makes our happiness kind of fragile and kind of weak. But I think that if we actually sit there and we actually listen to what these things have to give us. You know, these beautiful songs, such as I guess one other example I could give you is "Highway Song" by the band Blackfoot, or also "Was I Right or Wrong" by Leonard Skinner, and the song "Spoonful," uh, either by Cream or by Howlin' Wolf. There's a lot of songs like this, and these are of course emotional picks and emotional choices. But I just wanted you to know that regardless of what your taste in music is, it doesn't have to be the same as mine, of course. Um, I'm no lyrical doctor, obviously, or am I? I'm just kidding. Um, but really, I just want you to know that regardless of what your taste is, there's something um, that tastes better than used chewing gum. And I just want you to know that music can evolve in your life to a primary point beyond just listening to it uh, as a passing breeze, as a passing wind, as music can evolve beyond just something to sell ad space or to try to get you to buy streaming services online, like pointless things like YouTube Premium or fucking all those sites trying to imitate Netflix, you know. Um, but regardless of any of those judgments or ranting, I just want you to know that regardless of your taste in music, it can provide a sweet, um, I guess you'd say like a buffet of emotions um, for you mentally, something beyond, like I said, that dried out marigold flower, something that's really an entire garden, something that you can think back to, a song that you can put on when you're sad, or you know, like when you're sitting there, you know, like what am I gonna do? You know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what activity to commit myself to right now. Those songs are kind of like visiting a park that you haven't been to in a while, and I think that really, if just we in America as a whole unified and actually made music a more primary factor in our lives beyond just something that's a side of French fries, basically next to the main hamburger of capitalism, you know. Um, anyways, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you're all staying safe. Love you all because you're you. And peace out. Okay, goodbye. Happy Mother's Day to everybody who is a mother.